We are now pleased to introduce Dr. Rob Ohle, an emergency physician and researcher. Rob and his wife, Dr. Sarah McIsaac, are working to transform Sudbury into the city of heroes with the highest survival rate for patients with out-of-hospital cardiac arrests in Canada. Rob is here to empower us all to become heroes and save a life through CPR. As this presentation focuses on cardiac arrests, we understand that this topic may cause distress to some of our audience members. Please feel very comfortable to step out for this presentation. Welcome, Rob.
Certified. I might hurt them. Someone else will step up. I'll wait for the paramedics to get here. They know exactly what they're doing. I might do it wrong. I'm afraid. Tonight, I want to speak to you about courage. The courage to respond if you ever come across a cardiac arrest. You know, people think courage is a grandiose thing. It happens in the moment. It's a response to a situation. But courage is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and it can be practiced. Get your arms out. There's going to be a little interaction with this. Get your arms out here and cross them. Okay? Now, when you have them crossed, take note of what hand is on the top and what hand is on the bottom. All right, open them out again. And recross them, but the opposite way. Okay, yeah, brilliant. Doing something new requires intention. And when you figure out how to do it, it feels kind of uncomfortable. Courage is the same. It doesn't just happen. It requires intention. It requires practice. And what I want to share with you this evening is 3 secrets to the practice of courage. Before we get started, though, what exactly is cardiac arrest? So a cardiac arrest is not a heart attack. In a cardiac arrest, you have got no blood pumping around your body. You are unconscious. And if nobody does anything, you are dead. Now, a heart attack, your heart is still pumping blood around your body. You are awake. You are very much alive. Heart attacks and cardiac arrests. Cardiac arrests are deadly, and they kill 50,000 Canadians per year. That's more than die from strokes or more than die from motor vehicle collisions. The scary thing is that most cardiac arrests will actually happen at home. So the person who is in the best position to help a loved one if they suffer a cardiac arrest is you. The question is, though, would you act or could you act? The courage to step up and respond in a cardiac arrest is a skill which can be learned and which can be practiced. The first secret to the practice of this courage is about balancing your fears. Now, we are hardwired to overestimate the probability of something going wrong if we act, and we discount the cost of our inaction. When we ask people about what their fears are about responding to a cardiac arrest, we hear similar things to what I spoke about at the start of the presentation. If I act, something bad will happen. But consider this. The average response time to paramedics in the greater Sudbury area is 8 minutes. Every minute that passes after somebody suffers a cardiac arrest with no intervention, their chances of survival decrease to the point where the paramedics arrive and that chance of survival is almost 0. The cost of inaction, it's too great. You cannot hurt. You can only help. But what if I break a rib? Well, if you do nothing, if you do not perform CPR, there is no blood going to that person's brain. And every minute that passes increases the damage. We can fix broken ribs, but not even the talented neurosurgeons that you'll hear from later can fix the damage which is caused by inaction. What if I get sued? Well, there's the Good Samaritan Act in Canada. You actually cannot get prosecuted for attending someone who is in a cardiac arrest. The cost of inaction is too great, and you cannot hurt, you can only help. When you leave here today, I actually want you to go home and think about the fears that you have in responding to a cardiac arrest. Bring them out and sit with them. And then consider the cost of doing nothing. And then remember the words that are behind me. Now, secret number 2. It's about creating your confidence. Doing something for the first time is scary. If I were to pick one of you and say, all right, you're going to come up on stage, you're going to teach everybody here CPR and how to use an AED. That's terrifying. But if I were to tell you 6 months ago that I was going to bring you up on stage, I was going to give you the tools, we were going to learn, you were going to practice, then it's a lot easier for you to find the courage to be able to come up on stage. It's the same in responding to a cardiac arrest. The courage takes practice, creating your confidence, and it's not hard. There's 3 core steps to responding to a cardiac arrest. And the first one is call, the second is push, and the third is shock. Now, does anybody have a phone here today? Yeah? Okay. All right, pick up your phone and hold it up. Everybody's wondering whether their phone's on silent or not. Okay. Now, if you can dial a number with that phone, keep your hand in the air. Congratulations, you are all proficient in the first step of responding to someone who's in a cardiac arrest. When you call 911, there's a trained operator on the other line. They will walk you through whether this person is really having a cardiac arrest, how to do CPR, and how to use an AED. The second is push, and you push hard and you push fast. In the center of the person's chest. How hard? Well, it's about half an iPhone's worth that you want to push their chest in. And then allow it to come out so the heart can refill with blood and you can push that blood around the body. Now, the question is how fast? Well, anyone who was here a couple of years ago will know that it's baby shark fast, okay? We're just going to put that down. It's about 100 to 120 beats per minute. And then use an AED if you have one. So you now know how to respond to somebody who is having a cardiac arrest. But it's about creating your confidence, and listening to me for 30 seconds is not going to create that confidence. It's about practice. Now, you don't need to take a weekend-long course to actually create that confidence. You can do it at home. If you still have your phone out, open up the camera app, turn around, focus on the screen. A little link will pop up at the top of your camera, and just click on that, okay? That'll take you to a 4-minute video that you can watch. That will teach you how you can practice this at home with 2 toilet rolls. That's it. You can create your confidence. Now, if you don't feel like doing this at home on your own, you can come to the 4th floor in Science North to the only museum exhibit in the world where you can practice high-quality, hands-only CPR. And if you don't feel like waiting until Science North is open, at the end of MedTalks tonight, pop up. There'll be volunteers from the Northern City Heroes that are happy to teach you bystander CPR. Courage is about creating your confidence. Now, the third secret of courage is to build your community. It's scary to do something by yourself. When myself and Sarah sat down and talked about trying to teach the entire community of Sudbury how to respond to a cardiac arrest, well, that seemed impossible. But Northern City of Heroes, it's not just myself and Sarah, it's a community of people working together. And when you're not alone, it's a lot easier to be courageous. What I'd love you to do is when you go home tonight, sit down with your family and share with them what you have learned. Sit down and talk about what if one of you were to have a cardiac arrest, what would you do? Build your community. Because communities are the number one thing to help you act courageous. And if you develop a community, you can do amazing things. Northern City of Heroes, with the community of Sudbury, has increased the number of individuals who are receiving bystander CPR when they suffer a cardiac arrest. So if you still have your phone, hold it in your right hand. With your left hand, have a reach underneath your seat. Oh, and there's some lucky few there, okay? All right, hold up what you found. Brilliant. And hold up your other hand with your phone in it. Now have a look around, okay? So what you have in your hands, you have the power to create your courage. You have the power to balance your fears, to create your confidence, and to build your community. You have the power to practice your courage to save a life. At the end of the day, this is our town, our friends and our family, and this is our north. And together, we can practice the courage needed to become a northern city of heroes. Thank you.